Hey guys, it's
Okay.
Amalia.
And Chava, and today we have just a little video about, since we're both in seminary, finally, we have a video about what all the tips that people have given us for seminary. But also, I named my name Chava just because I felt like it, because um, I'm in seminary, and like people say in seminary, like you should go on a lot of Chavayo, whatever.
Haha,
Like
like
you
we're
say in plural,
introducing.
Chavayo, right?
Yeah, it's Javier.
So, so, and it sounds like my name, and so like that's a perfect nickname for me. If anyone wants to like nickname me, Chava would be a great nickname. So
Chava
keep it
really
in
likes
mind.
nicknaming herself and then encouraging others to use it. Chava,
Yeah,
yeah.
no one ever goes for it. Unfortunately, you're like it doesn't. That's not how nicknames work. So
I think like of something I'm just thinking, like something I've thought about a lot, is when I was in quarantine, they had like couples who were like for like the like the girl in the couple was were like alumnuses. How does I don't know Latin. I took Latin.
alumni.
No, it's different for men and women.
Oh, so I don't know.
One of them was like the thing, like that you think are such a little thing, but actually do, um, but like that you like prefer, like make sure to have them. So like she gave an example of like Tabasco sauce, and if like you're someone who really likes Tabasco sauce, like don't be like, okay, whatever, like seminary doesn't have Tabasco sauce. Like make it your business as much as possible to get it. Um, and like at first I was like, you know what, like my first few weeks in seminary, especially because we were in quarantine and like we weren't able to shop or anything, for our own stuff. Like I was like, you know what, it's fine. Like I can rough it for a year. I'm just gonna live with like whatever they give me. I don't need to like, especially my school gives 3 meals a day. I don't need to buy anything. I'm just gonna eat exactly like what they give me and be happy about it and live with it. And then like I did that for a few weeks and I just felt like so like it wasn't even conscious, but like I just felt so sad, like eating like eating things when you're not like choosing that that's your meal, and like it just kind of being on a rotation as I was finally adjusted, um was when like one I could like start shopping. Like once I started using those orders and like getting the things I needed to really cook and cooking, like it just made me so feel like so much better about myself, and so much like happier and like just being able to choose. Yeah.
Well, as someone who is also getting 3 meals a day, and well, I just got here, so I'm still in the middle of quarantine. So they're giving us 3 meals, and they are offering us meals a day for the rest of the year also. And I told my mother to do it because it's not that much money. And I was like, I want to make my own food because I'm very into making my own food. I really, really like it. But I was like, just in case I don't have a chance or something, like I want to know that there's a meal that like I could eat. But just a point about their food, I'm sort of regretting that decision because their food is the weirdest food I've ever eaten or seen on a menu. And like, who put this on a menu and was like, this
You eat
sounds like a
corn
good
schnitzel?
idea. We don't, but I was just thinking about that because you had a whole video when you talked about corn schnitzel. But we eat, they actually give us real schnitzel, and it's pretty decent, but they don't give it to us that often. They do give us is like, okay, for some reason they only know like pepper is a spice. Like I don't think they've ever heard of any other spices besides for pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And also they decided for Yontif, since we're here for Sukkot, they're giving us like meals for Sukkot, and they gave us different types of chicken. So they decided that like, you know what's a genius idea? You know what's missing from chicken? Can you guess, Amalia?
Pepper.
Like, no. They put Pepsi in their chicken. They're like, Pepsi chicken, sweet and sour Pepsi chicken. Sounds like a great idea. Honestly, I was just like, this is ridiculous.
That's like the
And
first
I
person
tried,
who came up with like, you know, all the like fruity pebble chicken and like frosted. That sounds like the person who came up with that came up with that.
ew. Yeah, I know, kind of like that. Except, I tried it and it wasn't so bad. But the only problem was it was really bad. The Pepsi part wasn't bad. The bad part was that we had it on the second night because I keep 2 days for now. So we had it on the second night, and they gave us, and we put it on the hot plate. But you can't put any food on the hot plate for the next day of until it's actually the next day. And we
Mm-hmm.
had dinner like a half an hour later. So we couldn't put it on until 7, and dinner was like 7:30, 7:45. The chicken was still cold. So I ate it, and it wasn't bad. The Pepsi didn't taste bad, but the chicken was cold. So no.
Okay. Why didn't you guys just wait? Most families and stuff even wait to have it.
Yeah, we could have waited, but we were hungry. We took your person's advice, actually, one of the couples, we took her advice because um, we ordered food from this website. It's called like Super Mishloach or something. They send food to you, but you have to have a $300 minimum in order for them to process it. 300 checkout, sorry, minimum in order for them to process your order. It's so they have it for like everything. Like I didn't order because I don't really eat dairy because I'm lactose intolerant. But so we ordered ice cream from Katzefet. And so my friend called and she was like, well, we want in Hebrew, but I'm not gonna repeat it all over in Hebrew. She was like, we want can we get ice cream? And they ordered whatever they ordered, and they're like, yeah, we have a minimum of $100. So she's like, oh great, we have to order again. So because they didn't have $100, so they like conferred, and then they went back on the phone with someone else. So another guy picked up the phone and they told him their thing. He's like, oh, we have a minimum of 120 shekel. I keep saying dollars, but it's shekel. I'm still American. We have a minimum of 120 shekel. So my friend's like, no, the guy before said it was 100, and he's like, oh, fine, sababa, it's fine, just do it anyway. So like so they have a minimum, but they don't always stick to their minimum. But their website, like literally, Super Mishloach, their website literally doesn't process the order unless it's 300 shekel. So we have to basically, what they told us to do is like add Cokes to the order, like just keep buying packs of Coke until it gets 300 shekel. Then just write in the comments like, please do not send us the Cokes. And then they just want to send you the Coke.
This is Israel for you.
It's ridiculous. They gave us a pot and they gave us a knife and a cutting board, but they didn't give us any vegetables. So we ordered carrots and potatoes, and we're gonna make soup. Hopefully, if it comes in time, we're gonna make it for Yom Tov. I'm really excited.
Soup is such a good item to have. Like really, like soup makes, like I started making soups and they're so easy to make, and
they're so good.
They're filling. They're healthy. Like you just feel good after eating soup. I love soup, and they never give us soup. Make soup all the time. Yeah. Another tip I got, the problem is like a lot of tips I get are so irrelevant to Corona. And so like the school itself gives you advice like over like when we were having Zooms and stuff, and also like while we were in the process of applying to the school, and just talking about like how at my school, like they won't tell you like, oh, you're going to miss your friends are hanging out from other seminaries, but you have a class. You have to go. They will never tell you like you have to go to the class, but like they'll sit down with you and discuss like whether you have to go or whether you don't have to go, whether you don't have to go, whether you should like go to your friend's birthday party or whether you should go to class. And the funniest thing to me is I'm like, mom is just so irrelevant to my life now, because that was like the big thing about my school, like this whole discussion of like, oh, like you can go out whenever you want, and like it's kind of on your own hours. It's very, very independent, and like it's still very independent, but we don't leave.
Did at all? Because basically since we've been here, every single person has been telling us just like basic overall seminary advice, not really related to Corona either, but it's like not a big deal. It's not like anti-Corona either. It's like it works either way. Like make the most of every minute, you know. And it's kind of cliche because that's what someone told me in ninth grade. Also, they're like, it's gonna go by really fast, and I was like, yeah, right. And it really did. Do you think high school went by fast or no?
When I was in high school, I did not think it did. Now that I'm out, I've been like, whoa, like what happened to the last 4 of them?
Right. I think everyone who comes out of high school says that, and they're all like, I wish I'd taken more advantage of blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I think that advice is good in some way when people say, like, take advantage of every minute and, like, go for everything that you can, like, talk to every single teacher you can, make a relationship with everyone you can. Like, that's good advice, like, theoretically, but on the ground, it's very difficult to do. And no matter what you do, you're always going to feel like you could have done more. You're never going to finish seminary with no regrets over all the opportunities you missed, because there's so many opportunities that there's no way in the world that you can possibly take all of them. So I like that advice, but I also think, number one, every single person in the world says it, and they all think they're like the first person to say it, and like, wow, novel idea, take advantage of your time in seminary. But also they just like, it's like good, but it's hard to like actually practically do. Like, I want to take advantage of every second, but what does take advantage of every second really mean? Does that mean take as many classes as I can? Does that mean go around Israel as much as I can? Does that mean make as many friends as I can? Because all 3 of those things are going to take up a lot of my time. So we'll go around Israel as much as I can, maybe not this year, but also leave my dira as much as I can. But also, Emrit Hashem, I will be in Israel for the rest of my life. So hopefully that one is probably not going to be my biggest priority right now. But there's so many other things that could be my priority. Good advice, but hard to apply.
Reminded me of some other advice I heard, because I think this advice kind of clarifies like your issue with like the advice like you've received, and I've received that same advice also. So this was again from a different couple. I didn't realize like that I actually internalized this stuff. So shout out to you guys if you're watching this. husband actually of that, like the woman who gave the advice, he was giving his own advice from his experience in yeshiva. Kind of like do whatever you want to do, but do it mindfully. And that was his advice for the year. You don't need to be making the most of it in terms of like rushing to do everything. Like especially like my seminary, like it's very like whatever, like it's very open to letting you live on your own schedule and do the classes you want to do. Don't go to what you don't want to go to. So like you could have time where like, okay, you just want to sit and watch Netflix. If you like need to sit and watch Netflix, that like one, make smart decisions about what you're watching, fine. But also on top of that, like be conscious, and I need a break right now. I'm going to be taking time to take a break. And it's meaningful to me because I'm taking a break. And it's like hard to grasp that, but meaning saying to myself, like, when I'm studying, I want to really be in my studying. And if I need a break for that, I'm not just like, oh, I'm sitting around lounging and watching Netflix. I'm taking the amount of time I need for a break, and then I can do other things. And just like when you're in the moment doing something, not just clicking video after video after video, doing nothing, but like, you know what, I'm like always just having in mind, like I have a responsibility for the year. What in the moment sounds like the next right step I can be taking towards that goal.
Wow, I just took an in breath and like I choked on my own oxygen. But that one is definitely applicable to like the rest of your life. That's
Exactly.
great advice.
It was, and
I really like that advice.
I will say I kind of combined it with advice that another like teacher in seminary gave us. And I've been like using this like 24/7 all the time. Shout out to you if you know who you are. I feel like I'm not even like close with her. So like maybe I'll get close with her. Like it's so awkward. Thing is like the next thing you can do is just to take the next right step and thinking about like what you need next. I've been using it like not only with seminary stuff, but like especially because we're here during Corona, I think this is advice that was really helpful to me. What's the next right thing I can do? I don't know what like you are in here through like a lot of the initial confusion about the Seger and about even before the Seger, like my seminary was supposed to be able to leave, um, like we were supposed to get out of quarantine, then have a week of school, then a Shabbos like with the school, and then we were supposed to be able to go out for Shabbat. And that first Shabbat, and that Shabbat that we were supposed to go out, like 2 days before they announced, oh, we don't think you're not going to be able to go out, but definitely you'll be able to go out for Rosh Hashanah. And then we ended up being in for Rosh Hashanah. And then I was like, okay, don't worry, like you're definitely going to go out for Sukkot. And the truth is, for a lot of girls, they didn't end up going out for Sukkot. I went out for Sukkot, but most girls didn't because they were concerned they wouldn't be able to come back if the Seger extended for a long period of time. In the end, like the way it's working out, like they have permission to like let girls like me come back, but I was taking a very big chance. And like in those moments, it was really good to just think, okay, like I need to stay calm. I'm not in control. And let me just think, what's the next right thing I can do in this moment, and not be thinking about like spiraling into a mess. I also reminded myself of the best advice of the year. Chava and I had a teacher in high school, and I will say, like my friends, I have a friend in seminary who went to high school with us, and she and I like were always like, oh my gosh, thank you to this teacher, because this line has been like our motto and mantra, like our mantra of our seminary year. Do you know what I'm gonna say?
I mean, I have two options. So which one are you gonna say? It's either we are not in control or we are frail and vulnerable.
We are not in control.
So
We are not in control.
Yes, definitely. I love that one. But also, we are frail and vulnerable definitely is the same idea. It's just a different way of saying it. It's more depressing way of saying it, but it's definitely she said them both. But
yeah, like every time something feels like it was supposed to happen, then it doesn't happen, and like you just feel like you don't have control of the situations. Kind of realizing that like, okay, I kind of sometimes like I have to like I don't have control, so let me relinquish like that feeling of a need for it, because it's not in my hands. And like if I can believe, like I don't want to sound like preachy, but like in my own personal life, I use this, like if I put myself in like a place to like believe in God and just kind of believe that there is a path, even if it seems like really terrible. And like I'm not like saying like I'm not saying that I understand the reasoning for everything that's happened with Corona and that I understand like at all the details of everything. Just that like I understand that whatever, like it's not for me to understand, it's just for me to live with it. And like my seminary, they're very into saying "rak lizrom," like they're even in it, which is like just go with the flow, like "rak lizrom," like whatever it's gonna be. I don't know where I'm gonna be for Shabbos. I don't know what I'm doing in a month from now, because I don't know what's happening with the Seker. Like I didn't know, like I wanted to buy sandals, and like I didn't know when I would be able to buy sandals because I can't get out. Like it's all just like "rak lizrom." I'm a sheep. It's hard to be a sheep. I can't put that.
oh my gosh. I was another advice that I don't know if I got this advice or just like I've got this advice all the time. It's not specifically for seminary, but it's always like, especially for Corona, like look at the positive,
Mhm.
which is very general advice. But basically, this year, I was supposed to go in August, but then my seminary decided to push it off till the end of September. And I was very upset about that at first, but then I was like thinking about all the things like how positive it could be. So number one, I get to be home for longer. I get to see my family for longer, which is not necessarily positive for everyone. And sometimes it wasn't a positive for me either, but it was definitely like I love my family, so it was fine. And also that I got to go to shul on Rosh Hashanah, and that I got to, because when I was home, we went to my grandparents and their shul's small, so I was able to really go. Like they had enough space for everyone, and there really was no one. It was such small shul. There was like basically just a minion, so there was a lot of space, and like there was definitely room for everyone 6 feet apart. Like it was good, and so I got to go to shul. It was really nice. And there was definitely positive experiences I had in September. And then there was a lockdown. So I thought I wasn't even going to be able to go into Israel at the time that they told us. So I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to go wait till after Sukkot. And I was so upset at first. But then I started thinking about, the positive, like I'll be home for Sukkot. I'll get to see my family. My other family members are going to come for Sukkot. So I'll be able to see some more people. And so then I was almost like sad when they told us that like, oh, actually you could go. Because I had like worked so hard and like seeing the positive in like being home that I like almost was like saw the negative in the fact that I was going to go, but then obviously I didn't because I'm really happy that I'm here right now. And I don't think that like I always definitely do not always master it. Like definitely here, like the food has been the hardest thing because I have like food that I like to eat. And I'm not a picky eater, but I try not to eat certain foods because they don't make me feel good maybe, or like just like they're not healthy, whatever. So I try to like eat like good foods, and they don't always serve like what you want. So definitely it was really hard to be like fully dependent on someone else for your sustenance because I literally cannot leave my like 4 amos. Like it's like, so it was really hard. So you just have to think like this food was decent, and also it's like helpful. I have family members here, so they like send me stuff, and like that's really nice. So like they're not sending me necessarily like meals, but they're sending me food. Like, oh, like I wanted something to snack on, but I don't want it to be like too not so good for you. So someone sent me like oatmeal bars that were kind of on the healthy side, like obviously whatever, like it's like one of those food websites that is like this is really healthy, but it's like not that much healthier than regular food, but like you feel healthy when you eat it. So that's the type of food that they gave me. But I'm really grateful to them for sending me food all the time. So if they're watching this, just know that I really appreciate it. I'm totally sure that I wasn't going to come to after Sukkot, and I did not think that I was going to feel happy about that. Like I did not think that there was any way. I was like really upset at my school, but I was also saying like there's no way they could have known that this would happen. Like everything was changing so quickly that there's no like they had made the best decision that they thought at the time. Like I knew that, but like we had a teacher also in ninth grade who was like, but you don't know in your heart. Like I always say that. I'm always like, I know, but I don't know. It's like always a thing. That's like one of my favorite things that a teacher ever said.
Especially with Corona, like it's that like when you like start grasping onto an image of something, like it's hard to flip it. And then like what you're saying, like coming up with the positives, like it's really hard to do because everything keeps on changing and like you're always trying to just grasp at like I want to be in control of something. I want to be in control of something. I thought I had a situation planned out, even if it's like not the ideal situation. But being able to find positives and everything, it's a really difficult task, but it's worth it. Writing down like even a thought a day of like something you thought of or what you wore, like doing bullet journaling while you're in seminary. It's a year of kind of like doing nothing anyway. Not you're doing nothing, but you're not doing like it's not like so taking a minute to journal and remember your experience can be really cool.
I have one more hack. It's not a tip that I got from someone, but one more hack and then we could go. One more hack is that they gave us hot plates. So if you ever want to warm up your food and you don't have a microwave, you can use your hot plate to warm it up, but just make sure to plug it in a significant amount of time before you actually want your food. Also make sure to put the food on the hot plate a significant amount of time before you actually want it because it takes forever to warm up. This thus concludes our video of great advice.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Let us know if you have any more tips for us because we're just starting out and figuring this out. And let us know which of these tips was your favorite or if you think all of them are crazy. And enjoy.